All right, so let's go through. Okay, so we have our table here. Let's go for the next instruction and then we follow through from there. So let's go down here. This says that note that I specified from which table each selected column is from in this query. So just like we did, you can see we select these two tables, the auditor report, and then we select what? The visit table also, and then the columns thereof, and join it. This is how it is done. So you can just copy and paste, and then you should have that resource as above. Now let's come down and see what is next. So you see, now that we have the record ID for each location, our next step is to retrieve the corresponding scores from the water quality table. We are particularly interested in the subjective quality score. To do this, we will join the visit table and the water quality table using the records ID as the connecting key. So let's go, and then at the end of the day we are supposed to have a table like this, that is adding one more column to what we have already. So let's go and see how we can do this. So that is the instruction right above. Now we already know that for us to be able to join two tables, they must be connected by a key. So which tables are we joining? We are asked to join the water quality table to visit. So let's go and see what they have in common. The key they have in common here. So this is a water quality table here. So you can see we have record ID, subjective score, and visit count. Now when you come here, you can see they have record ID also here. They have visit count here. Okay, but we are interested in joining through what the record ID. We are looking at the record ID to join the two tables. So let's look at the query we write here. So basically you copy the one at the top and then bring it down, and then you add a few elements. So we had this in our previous query. We have this also here. The only thing we are adding is this line. This is what we are adding to our query. So this refers to the water quality table subjective quality score, because that is what we are looking for to be added to the query or to be returned to us. So like we know already, we say auditor report as A, visit as V, and we are joining these two through the location ID key in them. And then we are adding up the water quality table as W, joining the water quality to the visit through the record ID. So this is it, and then you can close and run this query. So let's run it and see. Alright, so here we are, 5 columns. The additional one is the subjective quality score. So here we are. Good. So let's go back and then look at what instructions again we have. This we have perfectly done. The next one says it doesn't matter if your columns are in different format, because we are about to clean this up in a bit. Since it is a duplicate, we can drop one of the location ID columns. Let's leave a record ID and rename the scores to the survey score, and then auditor score, to make it clear which scores we are looking at in the results set. So at the end of the day, we are supposed to have location ID, record ID, auditor score, and then the survey score, so that we know which of the scores we are dealing with in each situation. Okay, so let's go and just do just that. We do a little edit. Remember, the instruction is to drop one of the location ID columns. We are dropping location ID columns, and then we can see from the previous listing query we did, we have audit location here, and then we have visit location. So since they are all the same, we want to drop one of them and then use the other. So, and then rename it location ID, because whether it is in the visit or the auditor, they are the same. So just name it location ID. And then we have the survey score, and then the auditor score, which we also have to look. So this is the survey score or the auditor score, and then this is the survey score, which we need to change the name to. So let's go and look at how we can change this to this. Okay, so let me go into my workbench. So it says, since is a duplicate, we read through this, we can drop one of the location ID columns. So in my work, I decide to drop that of the visit location and take the auditor report location. So I have a location or auditor report location ID as location ID, the visit record ID. Then I come to the auditor table again. I take the true water score as the auditor score, and then I take the water quality subjective quality score as the surveyor score. Okay, so let's run this and see where it leads us. So already we know that we are joining three tables, and so we have the auditor as V, visit as auditor as A, visit as V, and we are joining these two tables through the location ID key, which is common to them. And then we add the water quality table. We are joining the water quality with the visit through the record ID, which is also common key to both of them. And then we run this. Let's see what it gives us. Here we are. So we have location ID, record ID, auditor score, surveyor score, and you can see they are running side by side. Now here it is returning 2698 rows. 2698 rows. So let's go and see the next instruction on the slides or in the slides. So the next says, since we are joining 1620 rows of data, we want to keep track of the number of rows we get each time we run a query. We can either set the maximum number of rows we want from the limit to 1,000 rows to a larger number like 10,000. We can force SQL to give us all of the results using the limit 10,000. Okay, so let's see what that is. It means that we just have to audit or edit our query, and then we add the limit to it. So let me see quickly. This is just by the way. Let's see here. So this is the same query. I rewrite the query, and then I just add a limit to it over here. So if you run, it's the same thing. This time, because you want to see all the rows, if you scroll down, you can be able to see the number of rows that you have. Remember also, when you are working, this is also a limit to rows. You can change it over here to whichever appropriate rows that you want to work with. Sometimes when you change here, it slows down a little bit, it slows down your work a little bit. So let's be careful as we go on. Okay, so let's go back and then see what we have here. Okay, so I say let's analyze. A good starting point is to check if the auditors and the employee score agree. There are many ways to do it. We can have a where clause and check if surveyor score is equal to auditor score, or we can subtract the two scores and check if the check if the results is equal to 0. So here there are a couple of instructions. Say you try and figure this one out, so we have to look at it. If you run into an error, remember that you can't use aliases in where. So remember this particular clause, say you can't use aliases in where. So you have to use the same name as in the select part, like this: auditor report, true water score, and so on. So you have to use the name itself, not the alias that you have. So let's look at it, and then you got 2505 rows. Let's go and check if we'll get that. So we are here. All that we have read this part of it already. I just write it here to remind me what I am working on. So try to figure this out. So it's the same table that we have, the same table, all the other stuff are here, but we want to do or find something specific. We are adding the where clause to say where water source score is equal to subjective quality score. So we put it through over there. You remember that this true water score or source score is here. We change the name to auditor score, but the hint is that when you come to the where clause here, if you use the auditor score is equal to the surveyor score, you have an error. So you have to keep the original names here. So that's the only addition we are having to the query. Let's run it and see how it goes. Okay, so they will return the 2505 rows here. Yes, we got it. We got it here. That means our query is working perfectly. Let's go back. Now, with the duplicates remove, I now get 1518. What does this mean considering the auditor visited? Considering the auditor visited 1,620 sites, but here we are having 1,518. Now from here it says some of the locations were visited multiple times. So these records are duplicated here. Fix it. We set visit to visit count is equal to 1 in where clause. Make sure you reference the alias you use for visit in the join. So let's see how we can be able to do this or take this instruction so that we come to this particular answer where we have 1518 rows returning to us. So let's move down steadily. So I put it here. Now we repeat pretty much the same query, go down, and then we are adding an additional condition where visit count is equal to 1, and then we close our query, execute it, and see what we have here. It is returning the 1118 rows over there. That means our query is working. So a little comment I make here, I say with the duplicate remove, I now get 1518 rows. What does this mean, considering the auditor visited 1620 sites? I think that is excellent results, because if you compare the two figures, you say it's about 94%. That means it's very close to perfection. Okay, so we'll continue in the next video looking at the instructions that we have in the slides. We go step by step.